Yate in my own language. I'm greeting with honor to all of you. Thank you for having me tonight. I have to cut it short because I have another Zoom class happening pretty shortly too. So I am from Ganado, Arizona, and I think most of you are from all over the place, all over the world. I don't know where everybody's from, but my greetings to you and thank you for your invitation. I come from a family of weavers. My mother, my grandmother, and my mother actually taught weaving. I don't know how she did it. She didn't speak English, but she used to teach down in Sedona, Arizona, to a lot of non-Navajos under Mary Pendleton's direction. So she used to go down there every summer and teach the weaving class to foreigners. Out of that, I have other siblings, sisters, but I'm the only one that's carrying on the tradition of teaching. And so I teach at the Dene College, the tribally run college here on our Navajo Nation. And I've been teaching off and on a contract basis. So I can't say I'm a full-time instructor, but part-time. I'm an adjunct to the program with the cultural arts program. And so I taught in person for all these years until COVID. And still the courses were still ongoing. So how do I do it? I never knew about Zoom. I never knew what Zoom was until a year and a half, 2 years ago. It was chaotic. I didn't know how to use the computer, whatnot, and it's a lot of learning. And I'm still learning, but thank God, you know, we're here together. Somehow, we're all in it together tonight. So I just wanted to see if, you know, this brief introduction about myself. And yes, we use the math in certain ways, in ways that we did as we continue on to learn new things, and we improvise in certain ways. And so it's just amazing how math works in every way. And so we always talk about 4 directions. So 4 direction and everything 4: Eastern, Southern, Western, Northern. And each direction has colors. And so all that has a meaning to our directions. And from there on, it's our life. That's our life, way of life. We have to honor every direction from Mother Earth, Father Sky. So we're in the center, and so all that matters in our weaving, particularly for survival, used to be. And so time has changed from generation to the next generation. And I try to tell my students how our grandmothers wove years back, what they did and how they got their materials together. Today, everything is commercially processed. So I still try to go back, and I still have sheep. Yes, I have sheep myself. So I still shear. I take care of it. I shear, and then, you know, you have to clean it. wash it, everything, get it all ready. And then next thing is carding, get it all in line. So it produces a nice yarn. You spin it, spin for a long time. After that, we gather herbs, vegetable plants, natural plants that grow around here, um, and then produce some colors, and there we go. Color our yarn so we can weave with it. So our first weaving way back was for survival. Okay, it was only to use for warmth as a blanket, and not only weaving but felting. We felted our booties to keep our legs warm so we can go follow the sheep, in the winter time. And it was like a wraparound. You have it and you keep warm. And so that all came from the sheep. So I wanted to and so we have, along with how we sustain our lives from from the beginning to now, we continue to use our creation stories. That's the most important thing as us, the Dene, as Navajo. We have creation stories. And so way back years ago, we had our deities. We went into one world to the next. And so I have several things to show you here. Let me find it first. Whoa.
I'm going to pin her so we could see a large screen of her.
Thank you. Thank you.
There we go.
I just had it, you guys. So our creation story comes with many sets of I cannot find my stuff, but one creation story, because we value our sheep. Sheep is part of our survival. It feeds us, and we get the fleece from it, and then our bedding or the sheepskin. Every part of the sheep is used. So one part of the sheep is the fleece here. So in our creation story, the deities were wandering, and they were around, and they saw clouds up in the sky. So this is a cloud. And then our deity said, let's help our own people create our something that they can survive on. So then they said, let's find some twigs, willow tree. They broke off the willow tree and put on it for legs like this. And then it says, okay, let's get the rainbow, the sun ray, and the rainbow can be the hoof of the sheep. So they put little hoofs on it. And then let's get the crystal and put them right here for their eyes. And then they said, okay, then let's gather some couple leaves for the ears. And then they created it. And then the deity went and gave it breath 4 times. And it came alive. And it started running all over. That's how we got our sheep. So that's how we got from the clouds. This cloud like this.
Yeah.
When we created our deities created the sheep. So just a little bit of fun stuff to share with you. But the main one that we know that we learned from our woman DT is a Spider Woman. She and Spider-Man, with their webs, they went and pulled it out, and they made strands of yarn and warp, and started interlacing. Pretty soon became something for survivals, to, for warmth. So they created, to do another creation story, how we tend to hear from our creation stories, and that really gets you to think about your own self, who you are as a person. And so they created all the 4 directions and created the stones with it and all the minerals. And so when we travel somewhere, we have to come back and, always remain back in our homeland is within the 4 sacred mountains. So we have to, honor all that. And with our weaving, math is important. And so we have to, we weave rugs, and there's different ways to count our different ways that we count and measure. And in math, you might say, okay, let's see what the measurement from this is. It's 20 inches. Well, for us, we use our hand. So you go 1, 2, here's the center. So, and then this way, here's the center. So we already, use the math with our hand. And then you'll say, okay, from down here, I'm going to create so we measure with our hands, 4 fingers, 3 fingers, 2 fingers, 1. And so that's how we create, the measurements and the intricate styles and whatnot. And so creating something, we have to center and mark or tie. Instead of marking, we do a little tie. This is my center right here. So there's a little tie telling me that if I'm going to design something, it's going to meet here in the middle, and from the side, and then from the bottom and top. And so we work with all that. And so talking about symmetry, this is a rug here, and you see how the 4, when you say symmetry, half of this is like this, and you saw that on the PowerPoint, and then the other half is this way. So therefore, we measure our fingers. Up here, I have 4 fingers here to make this step. Another 4 finger like this. So it's a lot of. Sometimes you don't count, but you just use your finger. And with the new modern way, we use a lot of our ruler, to measure, make sure it's 20-inch all the way, from here to here should be 16, and then the other half should be 16 as well. So it's right in half. So the trading post, when we wove rugs like this, the trader would really measure, everything, make sure it's nice and even. He would go like this, and making sure that this is really the center, you know, back and forth. And you can do that, yes, with math, but to make it easy, we just use our finger just to measure. And it gets even more intricate if we start to use other ways of doing it. And here is another one that I'm weaving. And sorry for all the mess, but so I'm weaving now with this one. I don't know if you can see that right there. So this weaving has 4 heddles. There's one up here, 2, 3, 4. And I'm weaving a 2-face. So look at this really carefully. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
You can see it.
Yep.
Now I'm going to flip it on the other side and see what color it is.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
I don't think I've ever seen a rug like do that.
So this is I'm gonna weave a rug for, this is to show the evening colors and then morning colors.
Nice.
You see the sun coming up and then the blue sky, and then it goes back to evening when it's dark.
Oh, yeah.
So again, we use math. There's different ways to count each warp. Each warp has its purpose. So all that math comes in. And,
Tell us what a warp is.
What's that?
What is a warp?
So this is the warp here. This is the weft. So in our weaving, we weave weft face. So all the color is showing up. The warp is inside the design. So you don't see the design or the warp, but you see the color. So this kind of weaving is weft face weaving. And you can go further, more intricate with more petals. Just using math and just using counts. And so it's and I'm doing it virtually, so it's kind of hard for me to explain everything, but I'm doing my best. And so we identify our weaving with the sun ray as our warp is the sun ray. All these are they all have a purpose. Our batten is our rainbow. And this is our bottom here is earth and going up to the sky. And then our when there's cloud and when there's raining, this can also be the rain. The warp. And up here, way up here, that this here is our lightning. Lightning. So when it's raining, we have our own meaning for our weaving. It has natural forces, so we have to really be careful about that. So when it's raining, really lightning male lightning is
Mm.
when it's just rumbling and lightning's coming, striking. That's when we just cover it. We just
Mm.
don't weave. We just get away and we just cover it. We just cover it with our cloth and just let the storm pass by. Now, if it's female rain, real gentle. You know how female rain is, just real gentle and just like in the sun. You can even see the sunlight and it's just coming down really slow. We can still sit to our loom. It's okay. It's a female rain, but the male rain is really thunder and force. So we just sit and put it away.
Mhm.
So that's what we do. And another type of weaving is the sash belt.
Mm.
We have other stores on our sash belt too. So see how I started right here. I put in my 4 directions,
Right.
and then I'm going to start design up here. And this type of weaving is warp face weaving.
Mm.
So my colors are this color here, and they're showing up over here. It's a warp face. Remember, the other traditional weaving is weft face.
Mm-hmm.
So the warp you don't see. But with this one, you don't need color. You just need one. You just need one color, and that color is you're just going to weave it all the way in with it. Just one color. Your design is the warp that makes that design. And so this one has its own family too. These top beams way up here, there's 2 of them. There's 2. This one, this is the grandpa and the grandma. Okay. And then here is dad and mom. The one that goes up and down is always a male.
Mm.
The female always has the string, the pull string.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is a whole family here. The grandpa, the mom and dad. And then way down here, there's another one at the bottom. That can be uncle or aunt.
Mm.
But here is who you are. They're creating. The mom and the dad are creating. Right here, these 2 are the ones that work. These 2 make these 2 little pull shed here. They do the design. It's called a pull shed. Yeah, the pickup sticks, the pickups. And they make the design. And our sash belt is like this. So this is a warp face sash belt.
Okay.
And it's part of our ceremony. It's part of our own, our way of life. And again, see how much math it takes, because you're going to count. You can start first row count, like maybe start with an odd number, maybe 9, and then 7 and 6 and 4. So it makes that diagonal or triangle design. And then you start back off this way. And then so as you go, you're adding and decreasing. So that makes the design. And then in the back, it's just a plain design. And when during a puberty ceremony, this is what's used for the puberty, the girl, and you attach a little shell to it, representing white shell woman. And then the bead, this bead is cedar, juniper seed, the juniper seed. and it helps for the girl to, not to live in fear, and that she can go about her business in taking risk and living on with all she got, because this is going to keep her safe.
Yeah.
So when a puberty gets her, a girl, she then we usually give her a little bead like this, so she can wear it, and it keeps her safe. And this type of belt has lots of purposes. The main thing, and I'm going to tell you another story, is it's used during the time when a woman is giving birth. So this up here is going to be tied up to a beam way up there on the ceiling. And then this, the one here, whenever the mother is in labor and she's having her contractions, she's going to twist it around her arm like this and squat down, and so she'll deliver her baby with the with the gravity. Well, in the hospital, they put you up in a bed and you're laying up, and you're trying to deliver and pushing, trying to get the baby out. But the traditional way should have been you squat down and just let the baby, flow out with the gravity. And then, so this helps her. She'll pull on it and she'll be like screaming and you know how when a delivery happens, us ladies, we know how painful and how drastic it is to have a baby. So this helps you really quiet down and then, so then at the end, when you have your baby and you have your little tummy, and then this is what they use to keep your tummy back into to have your normal shape, to wrap it around really tight here. You can wear this underneath your other clothes, and so it helps your tummy come back into a nice shape instead of having all that baby fat around here. This helps you. And the other thing that helps you is that when your stomach is real fragile and the baby was in here and your tissues are still soft, so this helps you bend down and do things like move about, pick up the baby, and instead of going like this, like trying to, and after birth is you have to build your body back up. So this helps like this. It really helps you, and you can carry stuff around and whatnot. And so that's where the sash belt is used. And again, you count every, so this might be like 70 count right here, 70 count. And you have to know how many you want with the white in the middle, the green, and in here to make your design. So this all requires counting and math. Anybody have questions so far? I'm just going about.
Oh, go ahead, Donna. I was just going to ask her, do you plan out and draw out your design?
Certain ones you can do that. And like I said, the modern way is, you're supposed to bring your thoughts into it and weave. You can still do that, but time has changed, and we have people that take their rug into a real, like the ones you saw, intricate designs, and they show it for art. So it has become an art piece in a certain way. But I think it's up to the weaver how they want to do it. So a lot of these we have our own meaning, and it in our own way we we have to know our own clanship. My clan, in my mother's clan, I'm Senjikin. My father's clan is Sitnajini. My grandpa is Kea'ani. My father's side is Nanishtajikachini. So I have 4 clans. The 4th clan, whatever they tell you is you're going to do it, because you can't misbehave, and when they tell you something, you got to do it, because they are the people that are here and created you. So you honor those when they ask you something. And so in our weaving, a lot of it is ceremonial, and then some of it traditional. And we also have a protocol to follow, and the etiquette. We have our etiquette in some ways, how to act. If I have a piece and I need to finish, I can't finish in the dark time when the sun goes down. The sun is I'm gonna bring down my rug when I'm finished with the sun, because the sun is our witness in everything. So there's all these stories or creation stories that we have to follow as weavers. And like I said, some in the clan system, some are very strict, and then some you don't know because your mom or your grandma never told you. So then you're gonna go seek other ways to find out. So when you're gonna finish and you have just a very little, less than an inch to go, you leave it for the next day when the sun comes up. Then you finish your weaving and take it off the loom. And then another thing is when a lady is going through her mints, they say that you can't weave when you're having your menstrual cycle. And that story is within its own clan system. If that's what your mom has told you, you better follow it. If your mom never said that, then it's okay. So see, that's what I mean. There's things that we are taught from what to do and what not to do. And then the other one is when a woman is pregnant, she stopped weaving until the next 9 months. Well, I've researched that because I was pregnant and I was weaving. My mom was pregnant and she was weaving, and that's how we knew. And one day I was teaching a class, and all of a sudden a student had dropped the class, and I went and asked her why, and she goes, "Well, I'm pregnant now, so my mom said not to take this class until I have to drop it." I said, "Okay, it's really up to you, but so that's when I told the class, and I said, if that's what you're taught from your from your clanship, then you should research it more and talk to your elders about it, if it's okay for you to stay in the class. If not, you can drop it if that's up to you, but it's all within their own storytelling, or the families. And so there's some differences like that. And our blankets used for different purposes. Some used for ceremonial stuff, and then some are just for survival. I have this one here. This one is just a shaggy rug. It's just for warmth and for comfort. And when I'm cold, I wrap myself and, to stay warm. So it's just a plain weaving with all the sheeps, the fleece woven, but in the back is plain. It's just plain weaving. There's no design, nothing. So I use this a lot. And I have one here that I have as my chair cover. So different uses. You can weave it up and use it like this. And then when years ago, when there were chiefs, way back when there was chiefs around, they wove rugs that look like a chief blanket. And a chief blanket has some stripes and some other vertical designs on it. And what I was told was if this was a 5 by 4 feet long, and if you want to do a chief blanket, it has to meet back this way. Like this, how this line meets and the top line up here meets. And if you can make it like this, then it can be considered a chief blanket. See how that, if this was big enough, you see how the chief will wear it like this. And I have another one here. This can be considered a chief blanket. So if you wear it, see how that design meets back to itself like this?
Oh, nice. Yes.
Yeah. So this can be considered a chief blanket. And see how the lines, usually you have lines down the back. So so now in a modern way, when we see a Pendleton blanket, right? Navajos have lots of Pendleton blankets. And if you're going to wear your Pendleton blanket, you have to make sure the strap is up and down like this. So when you see somebody wearing a Pendleton blanket with the straps this way, I kind of have to go over there and say, do it this way. So the lines are, the straps are down. That's what I was told. That's how chief blankets were woven.
Mhm.
See? Now this can be a chief blanket right here. So when they were back in the years when the warriors were raiding and the different tribes, that's where a lot of trading took place. And so the warriors they had those on the back of their horses, and they're riding, and that's what they trade back and forth. And so the name became the chief blanket from there on, because it was only our own blanket for survival to keep us warm. But after that swaps, they traded off everything, a lot of things. And so with our Navajo weaving, you probably hear, oh, that's two Gray Hill style. Oh, that's Chin Lee style. That's Crystal and Ganado. So it became it was just a weaving that we did for utilitarian purposes, because we do weave rug dresses too, to us ladies to wear. We have our own rug dress to wear for survival. And so the traders then came along back in the early 30s, early 1900s, when the railroads were coming. The traders all came, and all the religion came too. And so it became a regional. We were known with Ganado Red because the Ganado trading post. And then Chin Lee had a trading post. Two Gray Hills had a trading post. So Crystal had a trading post. So these trading posts then started naming everybody, and that's how it became. But it's really no big deal about our own way of weaving. And so a lot of weavers now, I just tell them, freestyle, do whatever you want to weave, whatever comes to mind, whatever's going to keep you in harmony, for things to balance up. So you sit to your loom and you start this meditation, and you're going to sit there and wind down and leave all that chaotic stuff out there, and you're going to sit there and count your warp, put your batten through, put your colors through, and start weaving, just really gently. Just do whatever and get your mind off of everything. So do freestyle weaving. So this is one whole piece, but it's half this, and then I finished it with this, this a little different style, but that's us. We are in harmony, we're in balance. So that's what the whole purpose is, to ease your mind, to have a good life, and so we do that kind of weaving, and something simple like this probably can be so every time I have a rug, I always do this. Oh, this can be a chief blanket, just by doing that. And here's another little one. And you know how this number, the math, you count, and with this just small one, my thumb was like, oh, run thumb away this side too. So even your thumb is the measure. Use that for measure. And if you say, oh, well, let me see if this will become a chief blanket. So I go like this and see where okay, so the two meets up. This design meets up to the other side, and then this way. So this can be a little chief blanket too, because right here it met.
Yeah.
Something that meets across, like I said, is always considered a chief blanket. Something that when you go like this and the two meets. See how they meet? The design across meets, and then the step design, and up here. So that we used to consider that as chief blankets. So
Well,
what else can I share with you?
This is incredible, Ilene. Thank you so much
yeah.
for sharing your knowledge and your wisdom and your experience. I don't know about others. I will never look at a Navajo blanket again in the same way I used to. I will know how much more there is there than just what I see.
Mhm. Yes,
Absolutely amazing.
it's really, it's and it's just a matter of how once you once you start your warping, you warp it all up, and so this is a little tiny warp. So you warp up using two sticks, and you make your figure eight, like this figure eight all the way, and then you have a guide here. So when you make your figure eight, you insert this a yarn to separate the male and the female. Okay, the male and the female are going to start going up, and so this goes onto the frame. Okay, now years ago, when my mom used to go sheep herding, all she did was she used to warp up her loom, her weaving like this, and then it's portable. So she just rolls it up, and then puts it behind her back wherever she's going to stash it. And then she's up following the sheep, and then she'll put it out somewhere to find a little branch or something, and she'll spread it out and then tie it to a tree, and then she'll be sitting there weaving. And you've seen postcards with Navajo weavers under a tree. That's because they're herding sheep, and they're on moving their sheep. They're herding, so they're home away from home. So then it's time to follow the sheep again up to more graze area, and then you take it down, roll it up, and then just go again. So please. So this beam down here, and the top beam, that's all that's holding the whole weaving together. And then this is the tension here. So if you can just emphasize on how you're going to tension up on maybe a tree, all you have to do is take this off, roll it up with all the boy and the girl shed in there, roll it all the way up with it, and then untie it somewhere else where you're going to set up again, and then start weaving. So that's all for survival purposes.
Mhm.
But today we do
So-
it for exhibits and museums to show.
So Ilene, you've been teaching this to other people so that the knowledge continues, right?
Yes.
And I could listen to you for 3 more hours. I think we have to let you go to your class, don't we?
Yes. I have another session right now.
Right now.
Yes.
Thank
Yes,
you so much.
Thank you so much for contributing to everything we know about this. Just quite amazing.
And Mark, if you want to share my email with the students, if they have any questions, I can answer them later on if you know, when I have the time.
That's so generous of you. Thank you so much.
Uh-huh. And then
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead.
okay.
All
So
right.
thank you so much. And sorry that my time is up, and I have to
You gave
fulfill
us
the
a lot
other
of
We
part.
are even more sorry,
Yeah.
Yes.
but thank you
Thank-
again so much.
Thank
We'll
you.
go
Okay.
ahead,
Sharing.
Eli.
Yeah.
For sharing.
Okay.
We have to share you with the others in your class.
Yeah.
Okay,
Goodbye.
I have to leave you now, Martin. We'll talk again later.
I hope so. Thank you.
Okay.